everyone, and happy Monday. Welcome back into the KCTV5 Plus streaming desk. I'm Katie Bird. It's just a little bit before 8:30 p.m. here. I mean, it started out as a pretty normal week this morning, and then the news broke. It's what Chiefs Kingdom has been waiting for since the season had a pretty tragic ending. Travis Kelce is returning for his 14th season. We've been riding the hype all day. We've talked to business owners, super fans, and we've even been joined by a former Chiefs player himself. You guys, I want to first off take it over to Christopher Stone. He says he's been a Chiefs fan since birth, and I think you're going to enjoy what he has to say. We chatted with him earlier today. Take a listen in.
Basically, it came out with like a red and gold face, and instead of tattooing it, I just put face paint and then shoulder pads and stuff. But yeah, I've just always been really passionate about the Chiefs, and I mean, it's an electric atmosphere at Arrowhead, and I just fell in love with that and the people, and it's just been awesome being a Chiefs fan.
Go ahead and talk about how it feels to know that Kelce's almost there, contract is almost signed, but probably 99.9% chance that he's coming back for a 14th season.
Well, it's 100% sure, because there's no way Kelce would play anywhere else. This is home. This is the place that he was drafted, and he's going to finish here. 14 seasons, that's what we need, and we got to finish it off right, because it's not right not having your last year not make the playoffs. Like, he's going to go out with a bang. We're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Did you have any doubt that he was going to retire, or you knew he was going to come back for another season?
I was like, I went to the last game, and I was like right behind the bench, and I was just watching Kelce's mannerisms and everything, and I was just like, I kept shouting, I was like, come back, come back, come back. Everybody was. But I mean, deep down, I always knew he was going to come back. There's no way that he could retire like that, not making the playoffs. So yeah, I was 95% confident. Now I'm 100% confident.
So how did you feel about the news, kind of all the stuff coming out, the reports coming out that he was indeed, like you said, coming back?
Yeah, wake up feeling like it's Christmas, you know? I mean, that's a huge step. I mean, we just have to, like, run it back this year. Like, last year was not satisfactory, and Kelce's going to be a big part of it.
Do you think that's, like, his goal? He's going to, like, make sure that we have to make it back to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, you can see, like, when he's in the game, like, the whole team gains confidence from his confidence and his charisma, and he's a leader, and we need all the leaders that we can get. Him and Mahomes, there's no way that we're going to go out like we did last year.
What does a person like Travis Kelce mean to Kansas City? I mean, it feels like we're like one big family almost. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Kelce, like Kansas City, as you know, is like a giant family. Like, everybody comes together in times of need, and when it's great, it's awesome. When it's bad, we still like keep with each other and just like still have confidence that we're going to do good, and Kelce is a huge part of that. Like, he is like the face of Kansas City in my mind. And now he's like the face of the Swifties too. So we have like that all combined, so we got to have it all together for one last run.
He could have gone anywhere, right? And even this last season, I know a lot of people were trying to poach him, trying to get him to...
For a lot more money.
Exactly. Yep. But he said he's committed to Kansas City. As a super fan, how does it feel knowing that he's like, no, I'm going to stay with Kansas City?
Well, this is the greatest franchise in the world. This is the greatest city in the world, and this is the greatest team in the world, and he's the best tight end in the world. And ever since we drafted him in 2013 with the 63rd overall pick, he's made a legacy that goes beyond football, and it's time to finish it off here. He's a huge part.
Talk about that legacy a little bit. What do you mean by legacy?
I mean, he's won Super Bowls with us. He's been a leader the whole time. He's kind of had his up and downs. It's been interesting because when he first started, he was super emotional, and he, like that one time against Jacksonville when he threw the flag at the ref, and he's had like ups and downs in that, but then he's just like matured into an emotional leader too. And to see him, like, every time we're down and we need like a big play, everybody knows who he's going to, and nobody can stop him. And that chemistry that he has with Mahomes, those are brothers out there. And it's time to finish this.
Alex, anything you want to ask?
Sir, we've been around a few stores all day seeing the unique and the authentic vintage Travis Kelce Swiftie-themed gear. I don't know if you own any, but I'm sure you know people who own some of that stuff. What have you seen, Travis Kelce bring to just the culture and the local economy for local businesses to capitalize on his image to move the economy forward?
Well, he's a global superstar, especially now dating Taylor Swift. I mean, and he brings Kansas City, wears Kansas City hats wherever he's at, and it's just incredible. And he lives in Leawood, which is crazy to have a global superstar here. And he's just brought up a lot of, like, the economy has been raised by him, And I mean, everywhere you go, you see Kelce, like a Kelce jersey, Kelce shirts, Swiftie stuff now. And the Swiftie stuff, that's a little up and down, but I'm starting to grow with the Swifties and like them a little bit more. Because when they first started, they just drove up ticket prices and stuff. And they didn't know a lot about football, but now the Swifties are really starting to know football. So we're going to accept them.
Give us a sports analysis from your perspective. Mahomes will come back. He'll be healthy and 100% by the start of the season. What did you see lacking in the second half of the season that you feel like a return of Kelce will bring, whether it's blocking downfield or the passing game to build back up?
Well, he's just another weapon that the defense has to worry about. And when he's going downfield, especially with Kenneth Walker now, then Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, this offense is going to be tough to stop. But then Kelce is going to be able to like take all the intermediate stuff and like really bring the safeties down, and we're going to be able to hit more plays deep down the field. It's huge to have him. Like, I'm so pumped that he's here. I was going to cry if he retired, but we get to have one more season, then cry this last home game. So that's going to be definitely emotional, but it's going to be in the Super Bowl, and we're going to win.
So great to hear from that Chiefs super fan. I'm sure there's many super fans watching right now. If you are, comment right now. What is your favorite Travis Kelce memory, and what are you hoping to see him accomplish this season? His 14th year playing for the Chiefs. Want to give you guys a little more info on that contract in case you haven't yet heard. According to the NFL Network, Kelce and the Chiefs have agreed to a 1-year deal. This is worth $12 million, and it's up to $15 million. And this comes now as we're less than 48 hours from Kelce would have become a free agent had a deal not been signed. And like myself, I'm sure you all are very glad that didn't have to happen. It would have been pretty painful as a Chiefs fan to see him go somewhere else for 1 year. Now, obviously, Travis has a lot going on, from his podcast to playing to commercials and a wedding that he's planning, and we don't know exactly when it will be, but we do know one thing: him and Taylor's relationship has been so beneficial for the economy. I mean, think about all of the merch that you see everywhere here in Kansas City. Started back in 2023 when they started dating, and now they are tying the knot. Well, we recently also spoke with the Charlie Hustle manager. His name's Joey Mendez, just to get a little more glimpse into how helpful Travis has been for Kansas City businesses. Let's listen in.
Let's go ahead and talk about initial reactions about finding out that Travis Kelce is coming back for a 14th season. How are you guys feeling about that?
Yeah, we're super excited. I know the brand is excited. All of Kansas City's excited, and so are we.
And of course, you guys are home and known to have, Chiefs gear, Kelce and stuff, Taylor-inspired stuff. Go ahead and talk about the economic impact it will also bring having him here again for that other season.
Yeah, as a brand, we love kind of taking these pop culture moments and things that are happening in Kansas City and kind of having designs that our fans can wear. So any big news like this is exciting for us and potential good news for business.
Over the years, have you kind of looked at the numbers and seen a significant difference or economic impact for you guys when you have, Kelce playing for the team?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime our local teams are doing well, it absolutely affects business. This January and February have been slow, which is always expected, but when the teams are in the championships, it's always much better business than when they're not, or when any big news happens. It's always good for us.
And how do you think, a lot of people are sad about, possibly him retiring and then him not being on the team anymore. He brings a lot of positive attention to the Chiefs and also to Kansas City as well. A lot of people come here because they know, of Kelce and Taylor and stuff and want to buy kind of Kansas City gear. So how does that kind of help you guys, knowing that a big player, a pivotal person like Travis Kelce is going to be playing again?
He just seems like such a great guy, so I think everybody loves him. So it's just, it's cool that we get to have him. The whole Taylor Swift thing is just so unexpected and kind of put everyone talking about us, put us on the map, and so it's good for all of us.
And have you been able to capitalize off the Taylor Swift kind of stuff?
We have,
Go ahead and talk about how.
Yeah, we've had some Taylor Swift inspired designs, I'll say, of some Chiefs merch that definitely have done well in the past. So, yeah.
And then also, Kelce could be playing anywhere, and I know a lot of people are kind of poaching at him, trying to get him somewhere else if he was to come back for his last season possibly. He said he wanted to be in Kansas City.
Yeah.
How does that feel to know that a player just so devoted and committed to the city where he's playing?
I think that's so cool. I think Kansas City is a very prideful place. We love our city. We're not boastful, but we're very prideful. And I think he feels that, hopefully, that we love him and we love the Chiefs. And it's really cool that he, hopefully feels that and shares it in return.
Alex, anything you want to say?
Sir, anyone could just go to Chiefs.com or NFLshop.com and get, jerseys for the Chiefs, like a Travis Kelce jersey. But what is it about merchandise like this that you feel like makes it more popular for people, especially for the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift themed gear that you really couldn't get anywhere else but local?
Yeah. Well, we're a locally owned store. We're a family-owned, completely local, so a lot of your dollar stays here in our community, which is always good for the city.
How do you think the design? What is it about the designs that makes them more popular, or have the fan base flock to more instead of just going to the big brands?
Yeah, I think we're good at kind of capitalizing on those pop culture moments, and we can very quickly have designs out ready for our fans.
Perfect.
Now that Travis Kelce has announced the news, what do you think the process is going to be like for your designers or those who you partner with to make new designs? Do you expect new designs coming into this next season? What do you think? What will the company do next to, I guess, begin the next process of new Travis Kelce gear?
Yeah, that's what's cool about being local and small is I anticipate our design team is probably working on things right now.
Always great to hear from local managers and business owners, and a great reminder to shop local. I surely do notice when people sport Charlie Hustle gear rather than just something that they buy off of a big brand online. It truly makes Kansas City such a great place that so many businesses are able to benefit from the Chiefs' success, especially Travis's. I want to next take it over to Tiona Lenhart. She's the wholesale manager of EB & Co. Whenever you see those earrings, necklaces, and even headbands sporting Travis and Taylor artwork, it's probably from these guys. They have some pretty great stuff. So let's see their reaction to Travis's 14th season return.
Anything totally cool, but we are rolling.
All right, go ahead and give me your first and last names.
Him and Taylor Swift have been huge for us in this business, but also just because we love our team. So we love how they all work together, so we were really hoping he'd come back, so we're pretty excited. Yeah.
Go ahead and talk about what having Travis be back, what that means for the merch you guys kind of sell here.
Well, I mean, he's a big part of it. Him and Mahomes are obviously like the two biggest players that we have that with merch and stuff. But him and Taylor Swift, I mean, they have their own little section, which Taylor Swift wore 87, which a lot of people know us by now. So we're pretty excited about that, but I'm sure with him coming back, we're obviously going to be bringing in new design just because we like to keep things fresh and new.
And also, there's a little kind of picture behind
Yes.
Donna wearing
Yeah.
something from here,
Yeah.
like you said, Taylor. So obviously connected to Travis, how is that kind of just going to help you further with this business? You guys opened up a third location.
Yeah.
I mean, is that kind of part of the reason why? Go ahead and talk about that.
No, we just absolutely love the Kelce family just in whole, which we've loved Jason, we love his whole family, and so we are just trying our best to, show off our Kelce love and all of that. And yes, we do have 2 new locations now. We have one at Crown Center and one at Lee Summit. It's not necessarily just because of him and everything, but just because we're excited that we can finally branch out and reach some new people.
And also just looking at this wall, you see fight, you're right, for to party, the 15,
Yes.
like a lot of your merch, especially when it's Chiefs season, is surrounded by Kelce because he has so many good sayings and he's just so fun. Go ahead and talk about how that just helps you create new merch and fun, exciting stuff for your customers.
He's naturally very funny and he has great sayings, so it's just a fun way to play on it where anyone who's a Chiefs fan knows anything that Kelce's really saying. So yeah, we do try to tap into that. We have like Fight for Your Right, we have Sunday Fun Day stuff. We really just kind of have anything that sticks that he said. We've tried to make work for us. So.
And are those huge sellers when it is, football season?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. The Chiefs season, which we have just a whole Kansas City collection with, like, Royals and current inspired items. But the Chiefs definitely is our biggest light. I think it's because there's such great Chiefs pride, and it's not just here in Kansas City, but over the whole country and outside of the country too. And so, it's just been really good for us. And so we look forward to Chiefs season. It's one of our favorite times of the year. So.
And I feel like it's so different because I'm from LA, so like when we have another player like re-sign, I don't think there's that much kind of excitement behind it, but I feel like everyone feels like we're Travis Kelce's like family or like what I mean. So it's like go ahead and talk about how different it is to be living in Kansas City and having someone like Kelce re-sign for another football season.
Well, you just said it. I mean, we're kind of a family, which I feel like Kansas City we're known for our pride. And we support each other, and for Kelce to say he's going to come back, which all of us were, almost kind of expectant that he would be leaving, and we were kind of bummed about that. We are over the moon that he's decided to stay, just because, great players like that don't always come around for us, and it's been a great stretch that we've had so far. So we're pretty excited to have him come back, and like I said, we are a family, so it's just really exciting.
So last question, how special is it that a lot of people wanted Kelce, if he was coming back, and he said, no, I'm committed to KC. 14 seasons, what does that mean to have a player who's so dedicated to the city?
I think it shows how much our city loves him, because he could have gone anywhere, and he's a great player, so he would have been successful anywhere. So it's just a great honor for him to choose Kansas City to, maybe hopefully finish out his career. And so it's just a great honor, and I feel like it's a mutual love and respect for each other. So.
Perfect. Awesome. That was it. Thank you. I've been
You just heard from Tiana Lindhart. She is the merchandise manager wholesale manager, with EB and Co. Of course, gotta throw Taylor Swift in there because I don't think the shops will be getting as many sales without her and their engagement. Of course, Travis returning raises more questions about their wedding as well. Will it be this summer? Are they pushing it off until he decides to retire for good? Who knows? And we're just so glad that he is back. Well, as soon as we found out about the news that Travis Kelce was returning, KCTV5 sports reporter Katie Marr headed out to the plaza to talk with some excited fans. So I want to go ahead and take it over to her.
Travis Kelce is near and dear to most Chiefs fans' hearts, which is probably why the ones that I talked to here on the plaza today were smiling ear to ear about his big decision to come back for one more year. Though waiting for the future Hall of Famer to make his decision this offseason hasn't been easy.
I had a hunch. He can't give it up. He's too much of a competitor.
Yeah, we were hoping so.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I wasn't sure. I kept telling everybody, oh yeah, he's coming back, but I was worried.
We obviously know that he can do it. The salary cap always comes into play. And so, but at the end of the day, you always want Travis Kelce back.
But it's not just what Kelce does on the field that has him so near and dear to Chiefs fans' hearts.
There's a lot of transitioning going on, it seems like, with the Chiefs getting rid of some players and bringing on new ones. So I think he'll be good bringing on those new players.
His exuberance when he's on the field and on the parades, hopefully there'll be more parades too. It's just great.
And after a down year for Kansas City, these fans now feel a whole lot better about their chances of getting back to their championship ways next season. In Kansas City, Katie Marr, KCTV5 Sports.
And I think after the news broke today, we're all dreaming of one more Super Bowl victory with Killa Trav. All right, guys, we're going to head over to a quick ad break. When we come back, I'm going to be breaking down the top local headlines right here at KCTV5 and also walk through the Kansas City International Airport's evacuation yesterday. It caused chaos and a headache for so many people. All right, we'll be back in a few. All right, guys, welcome back into KCTV5 Plus. If you tuned into the news at all yesterday, then you probably heard about the chaos and uncertain situation that unfolded yesterday morning, and it flooded into the afternoon, even early evening at KCI. There was a bomb threat found not to be credible, but it caused a mess, and it also caused leaders to look at their emergency evacuation plans. This was actually the second not credible threat at KCI, which caused an evacuation in the past 3 months. The last one was actually on December 31st, New Year's Eve day. And again, but yesterday's was the first full evacuation since it opened 3 years ago. Now, KCTV today, we sat down with Jackson Overstreet. He's the PIO of the aviation department. He said he is satisfied with yesterday's response, but travelers want better real-time communication, which is only valid. And he says that him and his coworkers are now working out that part. Let's take a listen in.
Yesterday was a good chance for us to see what it looks like when our operations center is stood up. That communication with KCPD, with Platte County, with our federal agencies to make sure we're all on the same page. And so it definitely was an experience for all of us to learn.
And again, here's a look at some of those traffic impacts at KCI. As soon as we heard the news, we sent a crew out there and started digging, making calls, trying to figure out exactly what was going on. In total, over 160 flights were delayed, according to FlightAware.com. Only 2 were canceled, so the majority of people who were trying to get out or come back were able to do so. It may have just taken a lot longer than normal. You guys, I want to take it back just a second. If you take a look here, right side of my screen, there are people walking along the road, suitcase in hand. I mean, talk about a disaster. So this incident, it was first reported around 11:50 a.m. yesterday, and the FBI confirmed around this time with our station that they were also made aware of the incident. Obviously, they rushed as well. They were aware that there was this bomb threat, and then 15 minutes later, travelers told KCTV that agents had opened the gates onto the tarmac in between terminals A and B. People were literally just standing around here making calls, trying to ensure their family and friends that they were okay. They were just having to evacuate. Now, of course, flights to and from the airport at this time were grounded as well. I know one of our producers was on a grounded flight for a couple of hours. Traffic had also been diverted away from the airport, as you can see here on your screen. Now, other people were directed out of the terminals entirely, and KCTV at this time, we were not able to talk with anyone there because obviously they were trying to figure out what was going on, weren't able to catch them at that time. But again, want to just bring to light the fact that this extended beyond the terminal buildings. The garage was also closed down. We learned later on that the KCPD, their bomb and fire actually, I want to make sure I get this right. So yeah, their bomb squad also found a vehicle on the top floor of the garage that they deemed to maybe be suspicious. So they were investigating this long after terminals had reopened and flights had started to leave and return to Kansas City. So we got the final notice that everything was clear from Jackson Overstreet, who you just heard from. This was at 5:51 p.m. We first received word before noon. So again, this flooded into the evening and created quite a mess. And again, here on KCTV5.com, we have more information on how officials are now working to up their emergency response after this disaster yesterday. All right, guys, next up, it's been a little over a week since the conflict with Iran in the Middle East begun, and we've all noticed a big increase at the gas pumps. And here in Kansas City, prices have jumped 30 cents or more per gallon, and some drivers, they're already looking for ways to save money. I want to take it over next to KCTV5 reporter Zach Fisher. He talked with some community members to get an inside scoop. Let's take a listen.
I think I budget like $200 to $300 a month just for gas.
Marley Springs says her long work commute is pushing her to budget more carefully each month. She and a lot of others making every penny count right now. Some gas stations offer 10 cents off a gallon if you pay with cash. AAA says gas prices in the Kansas City Metro have jumped on average of 30 cents a gallon. Around the Kansas City Metro on Monday, gas sits at $2.97 in Platte County, $2.98 in Clay County, Johnson sitting at just over $3, and Leavenworth County at $2.90. And in that county, shoppers are stretching their dollars with store loyalty programs.
We get points, so we take advantage of that. And their prices have always been competitive. We've never had any problem with fuel issues getting it.
Dillon's is a franchise that allows you to get cheaper gas by using reward points, up to $1 a gallon of gas off. There's other places like Sam's Club, Price Chopper, there's Costco. There's many different apps that you can use to get gas for cheaper. You can use tools like Gas Buddy, Waze, the AAA app, and others that can pinpoint the cheapest gas locations nearest to you. And while every cent saved helps, drivers say the cost still adds up fast.
I am having to fill up like every week. But yeah, I mean, it's on my mind, but it's, what can I do?
I've got to say, Zach's reporting is a great reminder, even for me, to get on those gas saving apps. I know Sam's Club, Costco, like he mentioned, are definitely good ones. And again, look to pay in cash if some local gas stations may offer a little discount on those. Now, next up, guys, a shocking new study shows that the Independence Police Department logged over 541 vehicle pursuits last calendar year alone. You guys, that's well over one per day, and this is way more than any comparable department in the region. Well, KCTV5 reporter Grace Smith is breaking this down for us and giving us a closer look. Take a listen.
Well, you don't have to live here long to see or hear a police chase in Independence. Well, a new policy review shows how often they actually happen and the changes that could slow them down. According to Independence Police, the department logged 541 pursuits last year. That's in a city of about 121,000 people. Now compare that to Kansas City, Missouri, with more than 500,000 people, which reported fewer than 140 pursuits in 2025. Now, right now, Independence police officers can chase drivers for traffic violations, misdemeanors, DUIs, and non-violent felonies. A policy review made by Interim Chief of Police Doug Brinkley calls for more technology, from GPS trackers and mobile stop sticks to drones and helicopter support, to end pursuits earlier and keep officers and bystanders safer. We spoke to this couple who say they can hear these pursuits from their backyard.
This is almost like an everyday thing. If you don't hear the sirens, it's like, wait a minute, there's something wrong.
Just danger to everybody.
The study session starts tonight at 6. We will keep you updated. In Independence, Grace Smith, KCTV5 News.
Taking it next from Independence to Kansas City, you guys, less than 100 days till the World Cup. Hope you're not tired of hearing about it yet, because we are just getting started. Now, leaders are actually saying they are right on track for preparations. We learned that today in a media briefing. So I'm taking it over next to KCTV5 reporter Maya Engel for what you need to know as the busiest summer in all time comes to Kansas City. There's going to be a lot of people here.
The CEO of KC 2026 says all the plans are in place, and as of right now, they are on track. So the big goal for the next 94 days is really putting those plans to the test and experiencing what it will be like to be a fan, a local, a player, and putting themselves in their shoes so that all of those plans can be executed properly. Now, the biggest priority for KC 2026 is the safety and security of everyone. Kansas City is set to receive nearly $90 million in federal funding, some of which will be used for public safety and security measures and upgrades. Now, that money was part of President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill that was approved by Congress last year, but it hasn't been distributed yet. KC2026 CEO Pam Kramer says she's confident it will come through in time.
The administration has been very supportive in moving that forward. We're just waiting for the signature now. So in the meantime, we continue to do important work with law enforcement partners. As I mentioned, helping them understand the team movements, the team travel, but also the fan expectations, what fan behavior will look like.
On the ground, preparations are moving fast. Arrowhead Stadium is being transformed into KC Stadium, ready to host those soccer matches. More than 5,000 volunteer roles are being filled, and registration for Fan Fest should be available by the end of the month. In Kansas City, Maya Engel, KCTV5 News.
Lots of preparation in the works and many more things still to come as the countdown is on. Now, if you went outside today, you may have gotten a little taste of the summer heat, you guys. It's going to be hot when the World Cup makes its way to Kansas City, and leaders in Lawrence is taking steps to prepare local businesses and travelers as they make their way from all different corners of the world. Let's take a listen in to Gabby Luma.
As we inch closer to the World Cup coming to Kansas City, we're learning more about what communities are doing to prepare for the 4 countries coming to our area, including here in Lawrence, as they held their extreme heat preparedness workshop. The free extreme heat readiness workshop covered heat-related illnesses, weather service alerts, and real-world action plans for handling large crowds in hot conditions, all aimed at providing businesses and organizations the tools they need to keep you safe. Attendees ranged from KU students to United Way officials. Emergency management planner Joshua Taylor says with an event like the World Cup, the stakes are high and different from anything Lawrence has seen before. But they've got some practice with championship celebrations and are ensuring they leave no stone unturned in preparing.
Really, it's about mitigation and preparedness. What are the signs? What can you do to avoid? And hopefully limit the overall issues that people will have coming in from other places when they're faced with extreme heat.
Organizers say they hope this workshop helps businesses prepare to beat the heat this summer. Reporting from Lawrence, Gabby Luma, KCTV5 News.
Now, thankfully, due to the quick action of law enforcement and EMS, these 3 were able to be safely rescued, but it brings an important reminder, especially as storm season comes in and we do have flooding risk in Kansas City again tomorrow. Sheriff's Office is reminding drivers to never attempt to drive through flooded roadways, noting that even a small amount of moving water can sweep your car away, especially if it's moving quickly. So officials are asking the public to avoid flooded areas and give emergency crews room to work safely. Definitely a great reminder. And again, I'm so glad that these 3 people are okay. All right, next up, you guys, I want to take a closer look into the heart of Kansas City. We're doing this on KCTV, or Kansas City on the Record, excuse me. It's our new public affairs show each week. It digs into the issues impacting our community, as well as highlighting the good work people are doing. Well, one local partnership is seeing more than 1,000 pair of shoes being given to homeless individuals here in our community. I'm taking it over now to KCTV5 reporter Chandler Watkins with what you need to know.
Our mission is to make sure that everybody's taken care of to the best of our ability.
It's like clockwork at Winter Park. Every Tuesday afternoon, volunteers with Open Table KC make their way to the spot off I-435 and Winter Road.
We feed anyone struggling with houselessness or anyone struggling with food insecurity.
Founder Tammy Raper has been doing this over 8 years. During that time, she and others saw needs beyond a hot meal. They began handing out blankets and other items. They noticed many of the people they're serving didn't have proper shoes, or no shoes at all.
We've got several people in our community that has lost toes from frostbite.
One day, a volunteer was shopping at the Running Well store and saw a box of shoes the company was planning on recycling. The timing couldn't have been better. General Manager Angela Reed was looking to get more involved in her community.
Kansas City small businesses are so integral to community and community outreach. So when he asked if we would donate shoes, I jumped on the opportunity, and it's just been great ever since.
The partnership has produced over 1,000 pairs of shoes for those who need them. They've got so many donations, they've been able to share shoes with other local organizations. Raper says it not only highlights the massive need, but shows the community has stepped up to address it.
Kindness is free, and you can literally help save somebody's life. And I don't think some people realize it's literally their lives that's at stake out here.
Reporting in Kansas City, Chandler Watkins, KCTV5 News.
Next up, a Kansas City area family is suing after their son died from kratom sold without a single warning label. This is according to a wrongful death lawsuit filed in the Jackson County Circuit Court on Friday. This was filed against several kratom manufacturers and their sellers. So the suit is accusing the defendants of selling a deadly product without the adequate warnings on it. And one of the lawsuit's most serious allegations involves how the Hub Smoke Shop sold kratom to Thacker, and according to the suit, the shop purchased kratom in bulk and packaged it into what employees called house blends. Now, these blends in the complaint says that they were sold in unmarked bags with no warnings or labeling of any kind. Now, the suit further alleges that employees of one shop falsely told customers that a person cannot overdose on kratom and that the product was safe for medicinal use as well. So the petition accuses the defendants of creating a maze of companies to confuse and disguise their identities, describing the manufacturers as a secretive web of affiliates, shell companies, and assumed trade names designed to escape legal responsibility. The lawsuit also highlights marketing language used by the defendants that attorneys say directly contradicts the product's known dangers. Now, we have been tracking kratom and its impacts since it became a hot topic here in Missouri and Kansas. And to find more reporting on that, be sure to go to KCTV5.com, as well as an in-depth look at the companies in this lawsuit. Now, you guys, it's a little after 9 p.m. here. We're going to go on a short break. When we come back, I'll be giving you a closer look at what's going on around our country today. Until then, I'll give you a gorgeous look out over downtown Kansas City, thanks to one of our city cams. All right, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Welcome back. The 7th United States soldier to die due to fighting in the Middle East has been identified. The man here on your screen is Sergeant Benjamin Pennington of Glendale, Kentucky. He was 26 years old and he worked with Army Space and Missile Defense Command. He was injured on March 1st during an attack by the Iranian regime on U.S. troops at Prince Sultan Air Base. This was actually in Saudi Arabia. That attack is separate from the strike in Kuwait that same day that killed 6 soldiers, 4 of them whom were based out of Des Moines. And a little more updates on the situation in the Middle East. Today, President Trump spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin. This was to discuss Iran, and one of Putin's aides described the call as businesslike and constructive. Putin has called for a ceasefire in the Middle East conflict, and the two men talked for about an hour on the phone. And the Russian aide said Mr. Trump offered his assessment of the conflict with Iran, but the aide did not get into the specifics. So far, there has not been comment from the White House on this. And Live Nation's antitrust battle with the federal government might be over now. That's because a source says the sides have reached a settlement days after beginning their trial. The details of the deal are unclear, and a judge would have to sign off on the plan as well. Live Nation, as you may know, owns Ticketmaster, which came under fire for botching the sales of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour tickets and monopolizing the live events music industry. Now, these had huge impacts not only in our nation, but across the world. Personally, I know people who said and actually followed through with this. It was cheaper for them to go overseas and have a full trip attending the Taylor Swift concert in Europe rather than going to one of her last shows in Kansas City. That's how highly priced these tickets were that were being sold on Ticketmaster, who is, again, owned by Live Nation. So hopefully this comes to an end soon. And next up, the FBI now has the records that it's requested from Arizona's Senate. This is related to their audit of the Maricopa County 2020 election results. Senate President Warren Peterson posted on social media that he had received and complied with a federal grand jury subpoena for these records, and the Senate's review of the election confirmed that Joe Biden won Arizona. The subpoena appears to expand the Trump admin's wide-ranging investigation into the 2026 presidential election that Trump claimed was stolen from him. The FBI has also executed a search warrant in January at the elections office in Fulton County, Georgia, and it's not immediately clear whether the two investigations are linked. Taking it next to a little international news for you guys. Look at these shocking stills. This was a huge fire at a historic building in Scotland. It's at least partly collapsed now due to this massive flame that started yesterday. And the commercial structure is near the Glasgow Central Station. And that's one of the country's busiest train depots. Officials say, of course, they did end up closing it for safety. They're still asking people to avoid the area today, but the good news is that no casualties have been reported. I'd love to know how old this building is. I know the architecture in Europe is a lot older than it is here in the United States. Again, so glad no injuries were reported in this fire. All right, guys. Taking it next to Uber, women are now able to request female drivers on Uber. It's called Women Preferences, and the option was first launched in a few pilot cities in August and expanded later in the year, but now it's being rolled out across the entire United States. Cities where Uber teen accounts are available will also let those Ubers and their guardians request female drivers. Now, when I was on Uber a couple months ago, I actually did see one of these options. I noticed that the woman-only drivers were a bit costlier than the drivers where you can get either gender. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep with those high prices or if it will be the same now that it's being rolled out nationwide. All right, guys, you may or may not have heard that Pop star Rihanna appears to be okay after someone shot at her mansion while she was at home yesterday. That's according to police in the area and other sources. Now, LAPD says that this was a 30-year-old woman. She's now been arrested, and they believe that she fired multiple shots from a car in broad daylight at Rihanna's house. It's unclear if Rihanna's partner and children were home at the time. So glad Riri is okay, you guys. Wow. All right, a little more pop culture news for you. Good news for fans of the Drew Barrymore Show. The daytime talk show has been renewed for not only 1, but 2 more seasons. CBS Media Ventures announced the renewal today, and it means Barrymore's talk show, of course, will stay on through at least 2028, outlasting NBC Universal's The Kelly Clarkson Show, which wraps up this year. And throwing it over to a little bit of NASA news for you guys. Newly published research shows that their 2022 mission test was successful in intentionally shifting the orbit of not 1, but 2 asteroids around the sun. Here's some satellite footage of it now. And the spacecraft impacted the Dimorphos asteroid and its larger companion Didymos, which are linked together by gravity. NASA says it's the first time humans have altered the path of a celestial body around the sun, and it puts us one step closer to being able to save the Earth from an oncoming asteroid. Oh boy. Now, the DART spacecraft was built by and is operated by the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab in Maryland, and this is for NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office. So crazy what science and honestly technology is able to do in this day and age. If you're scared of AI, well, now you have another thing to worry about as well. All right, you guys. When we come back from this break, we'll be taking it over to a local doctor who has an important health alert for you guys, and it's about the deadliest cancer for people ages 50 and under. You are not going to want to miss this. Definitely a lot of good info in that. So we will be back soon. Welcome back into the KCTV5 Plus streaming desk. I'm Katie Bird. You guys, March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. It's actually a time, of course, when we should be educating ourselves and viewers on the importance of preventing, which is now the deadliest cancer in the United States. In fact, colon and colorectal cancer has steadily become even more common in young adults. Of course, it's on the rise and has been for years. We recall Chadwick Boseman, actor, and also James Van Der Beek. They're both diagnosed in their 40s. Well, I'm here with Dr. Lena O'Brien. She's a board-certified colorectal cancer surgeon of HCA Midwest Health, and we're here today to discuss the importance of talking about and screening for this highly preventable and treatable cancer. Dr. O'Brien, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thanks so much for having me on. I'm really happy to talk about this. This is close to my heart, and March is such an important month to raise awareness. Like you mentioned, colorectal cancer is increasing, and it's really increasing in the younger population, and I see that in my own patients. I'm operating on people who are younger and younger with colon cancer. And that's one of the reasons that the screening age has now dropped down to 45 years of age instead of 50. It used to be 50 for many, many years. And in the last few years, it's dropped down to 45 just because we're seeing younger people with colon cancer. And so it's something I talk about a lot. And we talk about colon cancer and different GI issues in our family and with our family and friends. And I'd like more people to not be embarrassed about talking about that and do the things to prevent them from getting colon cancer. So.
Dr. O'Brien, I know you mentioned how many patients may feel embarrassed about talking about it, but of course, talking about it with their doctor is the first step. Can you tell me why this is just so crucial?
Well, I think a lot of people hear the word colon and rectal and they get nervous and they get embarrassed to talk about something that's just very natural. But colon and rectal cancer is one of the most curable cancers that's out there, especially if it's caught early. And so patients might have a change in their bowel habits. They might notice blood in their stool or something different, but be embarrassed to talk about it. And that's why it's important to talk to your primary doctor about those things. And I say that colon cancer is one of the most curable cancers because 99% of all colon cancers start off as a polyp that's growing on the inside of the colon. And if you can remove the polyp before it has a chance to become cancerous, you've effectively removed the chance of having a cancer form. And so that's why colonoscopy is so important.
Yeah, I have to say my mom actually found one of those polyps last year. She was able to get it surgically removed before it did become colon cancer. Obviously, it hits close to home for me as well. I want to share a pretty shocking statistic. New studies show that colorectal cancer has become the leading cause of cancer deaths for adults who are younger than 50. And these mortality rates, I saw they're also increasing. Now, Dr. O'Brien, I know you mentioned a few of those symptoms. Are there any other signs or things that people should look out for?
Certainly if you're having abdominal pain or, like I said, any change in bowel habits or blood in your stool, something unusual or different should definitely be reported. But the goal with screening is to actually find things before they become symptomatic. Your colon's about 5 to 7 feet long, and you might only have symptoms if something is growing at the very end of your colon. Things can, colon cancers can be asymptomatic if they're further upstream. And so that's the goal of screening, is to catch those things before they can turn into something cancerous. And yes, it has become this number one cause of cancer in that age group of less than 50, which is not a great statistic, but it's real. And I'm seeing it in my practice every day.
Wow. And along with that, Dr. O'Brien, I know you mentioned a little bit of the screening process. Could you walk me through more of that just so the viewers know what they're going to get into when they do go for that?
Sure. Yeah. A lot of people are really scared of having a colonoscopy. Maybe they just probably don't know much about it. The hard part about the colonoscopy is honestly the day before the colonoscopy, just getting cleaned out. That involves taking a laxative prep to ensure there's no stool in your colon. The procedure itself is an outpatient procedure. You're actually under sedation for it. So you take a nice nap. And the procedure takes somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes to perform. Then you wake up actually feeling pretty rested and hopefully get a clean bill of health. If there are polyps, a lot of times they can be removed at the time of the colonoscopy. It's just the fear of having it done kind of keeps people away, but I practice what I preach. I've had my colonoscopies. I talk to my own family and friends always about getting screening. It's a dinner conversation at our house for sure.
Well, awareness definitely is the most important part. And so I know you mentioned, Dr. O'Brien, those polyps that you look for. Is there anything else that you're looking out for during the colonoscopy?
If there's other things that are noticed at the time of the colonoscopy, like inflammation, or people also can see other disease processes going on in the colon, that would be picked up on a colonoscopy. Sometimes people are having bleeding and they're chalking it up to hemorrhoids, but it's really not hemorrhoids. That's why it's important to not ignore those symptoms and assume that it's something as simple as a hemorrhoid when it might be something more.
And then what age do you recommend people starting to get their colonoscopies?
Well, for people who are of average risk and are not having any symptoms, the age is 45. Now, we have some patients who have a very strong family history, and so if they have family members that have had colon cancer in their 40s, then easily other family members should, be screened maybe 5 to 10 years prior to that age of 40. Um, there are other diseases that put people at increased risk for colon cancer. That would be Crohn's disease or some of the polyposis syndromes. But if you're otherwise asymptomatic and you feel well and you're healthy and there's no family history, the age of 45 is when we would start screening.
That's good to know. And then do you feel like enough people are getting screened regularly, or should there be more?
I don't think we're getting screened adequately. I think the fear of having a colonoscopy, puts people off, and then people think it's not going to happen to them. And then there's also the fact that not everybody realizes that the screening age is down to the age of 45. In fact, I just saw a patient this week. He was 45 years old. He went in to get just a screening colonoscopy, which was great. I was really glad that he did, because they actually caught something that is going to need surgery to remove it. And he had absolutely no symptoms. So I just think people need to be more aware.
Yeah, and then for Kansas City community members, is there anything that they should know to help ease their mind about the process or the preparation for the screening?
I just that it's a very simple procedure, very low risk, and it's very easy to do. There are so many physicians who do colonoscopies in the community. We have a great GI community here in town. And it's just the prep. It's not, like I said, I've had 2 colonoscopies myself, very straightforward, probably the best nap I ever had. And so I'm a proponent of doing it. So.
Thank you again for walking me through all of this, Dr. O'Brien, and helping raise awareness. It's so vital to do so. Is there anything else you'd like to mention that I haven't yet touched on?
No, I think you've covered it pretty well. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and so I think what you're doing is getting the population informed and hopefully making them less nervous about doing a colonoscopy and getting screened. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate your time. Welcome back.